Oakland's O-line allowed Derek Carr to be sacked 4 times last week.
The pocket's going to get sacked again.
It was surprising since that line only allowed 18 sacks in all of 2016, the fewest in the NFL. But there's a reason beyond just good pass protection that explains why it's typically so hard to get to Carr. Let's go behind the O-line for an explanation and see what Washington did that most other teams have not been able to. First things first, Derek Carr is faster than any quarterback in the league at getting his passes off, averaging just 2.2 seconds from snap to throw this year. Now, combine that stat with this one. The average sack in the NFL takes 4.5 seconds. Those 2 stats alone pretty much explain why it's so difficult to sack him. For the ultimate perspective, the fastest sack of Week 3 was 2.66 seconds and came on a play where the pass rusher wasn't blocked. So think about it. An unblocked defender wouldn't be able to get to Carr before he typically throws the football. So Oakland's line usually doesn't even have to keep the pocket from collapsing quite as long as others do in order for its offense to work. But when you're that quick to pull the trigger, it means you're not throwing the football that far. Pay attention to most of Carr's passes, and you'll see most look like this.
That's another one with a little short gain out to the 48-yard line.
Carr, quick hitter.
All right, throws underneath for Carr.
It's not just perception either. The stats back it up. Aside from his snap-to-throw time, Carr ranks near the bottom in intended air yards per pass attempt, meaning his attempts do not travel through the air very far. And how does he fare when he throws the football deep? Also near the bottom, his 53.9 passer rating on passes of 20 or more air yards ranks 27th.
It's picked off. It's intercepted.
So now that we have a better understanding of what Oakland's line is responsible for in pass protection, let's see what happened Sunday night against Washington. Sack number 1 wasn't really the line's fault. That sack took 3.9 seconds. Carr had nowhere to go with the football. The Washington secondary had everybody covered. Classic coverage sack. Sack number 2, pretty much the same thing. Again, there wasn't really anywhere to throw the football. He does have Marshawn Lynch coming out of the backfield, but Lynch is to his left and his progression appears to start on the right side of the field. Still, it was more about the coverage, not so much about poor blocking. Sack number 3 took even longer to develop, and on this one, Carr does have an open receiver in Michael Crabtree cutting underneath, but at the moment Carr needs to throw him the ball, Crabtree isn't looking his way yet. That said, Ryan Kerrigan bull rushes Marshall Newhouse into Carr's lap, so the line was partially responsible for this one. Sack number 4 was a result of miscommunication. Center Rodney Hudson's snap clearly catches Carr by surprise. You could blame that on the O-line, but it was mostly Carr being caught off guard that disrupted the timing of the play, not poor blocking. On all 4 sacks, Washington only had to rush 4, which allowed them to devote the rest of their defenders to coverage. And pass coverage, as odd as it may seem, is almost more important than the actual pass rush if you're looking to beat Oakland's line.
How do you win against the Raiders? You make Derek Carr hold the football. He's not used to doing it.
So there's the blueprint for future Raiders opponents. Executing it, though, is easier said than done.
Raiders offense against the Redskins on Sunday night did not cross the century mark in total yards until the final drive. 0 third down conversions. How did they get it corrected this week?
Yeah, they left their offense on the West Coast clearly. And the O for Oakland stand for 0 for 11 on third down. Oof. And oh my goodness, another drop. All right, the playmakers, you got to step up. Now look, if you're Michael Crabtree, your job is to catch the ball. You got to do it. You got to come through for your team. This is a stutter go right here. They've got man across the board. Safety's over the top. But look at this route. It's a great route by Crab. I mean, he gets Rashad Breeland here to bite on the stutter move. And now Derek Carr knows, I got my guy wide open. He throws a laser right in this little window here. Now, the ball could be a little bit further away from the safety. But right now, Crabtree knows he's going to get rocked. So you might as well catch the ball. If you're going to get hit, you might as well come down with it, get credit for it. That one's on Crabtree. Now, this one's on Derek Carr. All right, right now at the snap, you can see the safety right here. He's telling that guy, you're coming, you're blitzing. Right now, Derek Carr should know, I got a free rusher. I can't take time with this screen to Marshawn Lynch. I got to hit Coop on the fade. I got Amari Cooper one-on-one in the red zone. Derek Carr takes too long to get this ball out. That ball should have come out right now in the red zone. Look at this for the bounce-back game now against the Denver Broncos. Look at what the Broncos no-fly zone has done in the last 4 games to Crabtree and Cooper. All right, only 1 touchdown combined. What else you see on there, Rhett?
I see that neither one of them have averaged over 40 yards a game in the last 4 matchups. So, Chris Harris, Aqib Talib, those guys all licking their chops.
And the one thing that's not on that board is the drops.
Yeah.
These 2 guys lead the NFL right now in drops, and Crabtree was second last year in drops, so they got to step up.
More than they need, for sure.
The basketball twist there and pivot, and boom, the ball's there.
The booms and the whole thing, and then the doinks when a kick would hit the upright. People love that.
Listen to this one. Louder than a doink.
Those booms and stuff have been with me all my life.
Boom! That is a great stiff arm.
He was so detailed, and yet at the same time, he could not hide his passion, or most of all, his sense of joy that he was at this game.
Like, this is a father bucket, this is a mother bucket, and since the last game, they had a baby bucket. So this is a baby bucket.
I guess that clears up the question as to whether they're married or not.
And he had guys he liked, guys who were a little different, you know, guys whose helmet was screwed on different, you know. I said, John, you need to make a team of those kind of guys. The all Madden team. That's how it started, and he did. He started it. I told John, I said, I'm 50% of this franchise, you know. And he sent me an ice cream cone.
But the squiggly telestrator lines, booms, whaps, turduckens, and six-legged turkeys were all Madden.
You could argue on paper are pretty evenly matched, the Raiders and the Broncos, but MME came into play earlier for Teddy Bruschi with one of these teams, and that is major mental errors.
That's what I see, Wendy. Yes, you're right. That's what I see with the Oakland Raider defense. In coverage, when they blitz the passer, when they bring their pressure packages, you know, I just want to see them play fundamentally correct defense, and they can't do that. And that's why I'm taking the Broncos right here. I think they'll pay attention to Demaryius Thomas, but I think Emmanuel Sanders is those type of receivers, those are the ones they forget about, that are wide open, those coverage busts that we call them on the defensive side of the ball. I think they'll have them, and the Broncos will win this game.
I'm going to go with the Raiders because I don't see Derek Carr playing as badly as he did last week. This is an important game for both teams.
They got to protect him.
It's a divisional game, but I just think that at the end, he's going to make enough plays against one of the best secondaries in football to have the Raiders win a football game on the road, one they need very badly, by the way.
Both of those teams sitting at 2-1.
Raiders now get to go to Denver after getting beat up in Washington, D.C. The Denver Broncos have a way of stifling, completely shutting you down. The Oakland Raiders, and specifically Derek Carr, need to make a statement that we're not just going to be around and play out. We're one of the best teams in the AFC. We're going to go to the Super Bowl. And to do that, you got to reestablish yourself against the best. Go to Denver, pierce that defense, make the big throws, put the ball in the end zone, and beat the Denver Broncos, and now reestablish you guys as one of the best offenses in the league. Otherwise, we'll wait and see.